think one of the biggest problems in our society today is we don't want to offend anybody. That's a big problem. Because children have all learned in the last couple of generations that we got to be politically correct. That's where it all came from. We can't say anything in front of our kids. We don't want them to hear that. That's wrong. You should say it in front of your kids. You do want them to hear it. You want to hear the truth. Not what that guy over there in Washington's telling them, because he's not telling the truth. And that's why they're winning, because they're not afraid to speak up. The people, the silent majority out here, the people, we don't hear anybody.
But guess what? Your first shot got fired. And thank God it was Arizona. It's called 10-7.
Yes, sir.
And you know what? It's growing.
Yeah. Virginia.
That's exactly, we got Michigan. Wisconsin coming on board, folks. And you know what? When you look at the Rasmussen poll of California, and it's not a small sampling, it's a huge sampling. 54% of Californians agree with you.
Thank God.
And just barely 30% disagree. I got my victory. Let's go. Guess what? That's our first step. That's our first step, and don't let it go.
That's my point about this voting, getting out to talk to your precincts and stuff. Don't be afraid to talk to people and say what you have to say, because there's people out there, they might be Democrat, Independent. They're open to suggestions this year. This is a whole different year.
This is a whole
different
You're exactly right. This is about people, folks. It's about people. And it's about time we got back to people. And you know what? There's a Nelson Mandela quote. And I hope you go back and find it. I'm not great at quotes, but it says, "Who are you not to let your light shine? Because your light empowers those around you to shine, and therefore your light shines greatest." You know what? As blue-collar guys, here's your sign. There's your shine. You know what? Our forefathers gave an awful lot. It's not about taking anymore. It's about giving back. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And it will take each one of us. And by the way, most people will wonder why I wear a pin that says Gosar with shovels on it. I want to explain it to you. I'm a common guy. I love gardening. And when a common man or woman is surrounded by a pile of crap, last time I looked, that's what we were in, right? The only way you get out of that pile of crap is by one shovel at a time. And each one of you has to pick up your shovel and dig yourself out. It's about personal accountability and personal responsibility. There's my 2 shovels. I need to see you start digging.
But you got a back.
I guess maybe I have a bigger pile of crap.
I think we just gave our sheet.
Do you support a constitutional amendment that defines marriage between one man and one woman?
I do.
You would.
I do. On the social issues, I'm actually the one, the pro-life, that called out the president, was picked up nationwide, calling out the executive order as a fraud by the president. And I made sure that went out before Bart Stupak signed off, because he already knew. The lawyers that were ahead of the amicus brief and based upon the Hyde Amendment hand-delivered those to the Blue Dog Democrats, saying that this order would be erroneous. They were condoning government-funded abortions. I have that for you if you would ever like to see it. The gentleman who wrote that is eloquent. So I called out the president saying that, you know, that's an erroneous use of the executive order. So I'm pro-life all the way through. I will also tell you this, Ann goes to my church. Ann has not talked to Father Pat. She has blown him off several times in addressing this issue. Ann is Emily's List, which is on-demand abortion, government funding, and physicians don't have a say in it. And by the way, that's where Ann got most of her money. Once again, education empowers you. And when I was asked to run, I'm not a wealthy guy. I want to tell you that right now. Don't have lots of money. I thought, oh my God, another thing.